Don't forget, ko-fi.com/stopwritingalone is a real simple way to show your support for what's going on here week after week. Hi everyone, this is Nicole Rivera and you're listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast for writers who are looking for their writing community. I know you want to find readers for your work, but I think your first step is to connect with other writers. That's what we're going to do here in the Stop Writing Alone podcast. We'll do writing prompts and other writing group activities, discover online writing communities, learn how to find local writing groups, or how to make your own. Join us as we explore, learn, and write. Hi everyone, this is Nicole Rivera, and you are listening to the Stop Writing Alone podcast. I think it was around this time last year that I started to become obsessed with chanting, April is coming, April is coming. I might have even done it earlier than this, but it was really tempted to chant that again and say, April is coming, because it is a big deal in a writing community, particularly the online writing community, because there happen to be a number of writing challenges that go live. However, there is this other big life reason why April is coming is a big deal. And that is that if you split your year into quarters, April 1st marks the second quarter of the year. So we are winding down on the first quarter of 2021. And at this point, you are, whether you set yourself a year-long goal or you've just been going week to week, seeing how much you could accomplish in your writing, and, parentheses, any other part of your life, this is a really, really good time to stop and take stock and take a look at what you have accomplished, what you haven't accomplished, and ask yourself, what do you want to do with Q2? What do you want to do with the second quarter of the year? And you could ask yourself, what do you want to do with the rest of the year, looking all the way through from now until December? But I'm always one for taking everything in small chunks. I do look at quarters, I look at months, and I look at weeks, and then I look at days. I look at the big picture and then I draw it back in. So the second quarter of the year would be the months of April, May, and June. And I think this year in particular, it's a really good idea to stop right now for a moment and think realistically about what is about to happen in these next 3 months for you. Now, depending on where you're at or what your comfort level is with everything that's happened in reference to the pandemic and whether or not you have a vaccine or places are open around you, these next 3 months might be a time where you are saying, my writing can go on hold for a second so I can get out and do the things, whatever they are. Or, maybe that's not happening till June. So you want to make the most of April and May. My point is, this moment right now, right before April even begins, is the perfect time to stop and sort of have that conversation with yourself. What do you think you want to accomplish by the end of June? And what will your life sort of offer up in terms of time and availability toward those goals? Now, with that said, April, as I said, does have a lot of writing challenges and writing communities that sort of burst up that are really great to be a huge motivator to help you get a lot of stuff done within those first 30 days. And the 3 challenges that I've had experience with that I can speak to in terms of having a community and real types of motivation on a daily basis are Camp NaNoWriMo NaPoWriMo, and blogging from A to Z, the blogging from A to Z challenge. Quite briefly, and I've done other episodes on this, Camp NaNoWriMo is run by the same people as NaNoWriMo, and NaNoWriMo stands for National Novel Writing Month, which typically happens in November, and is an online challenge that asks writers to write 50,000 words in the 30 days of November. However, in April and again in July, they host something called Camp NaNoWriMo, which is the same idea that you have this 1 month of time to accomplish your writing goal. However, in camp, you get to determine what your goal is. And it could be in the form of a word count, or it could be in the form of getting a certain project done, or a certain number of pieces of writing. You basically get to make the rules for yourself. However, on top of that, a level of accountability where the website has stats that help you track your progress. There is also an embedded sort of chat room called a cabin where you can connect with other writers that are also involved with Camp NaNoWriMo. And there are forums, and with all things NaNoWriMo, there are typically sponsors that provide oftentimes freebies during the month of the event, but even when they don't offer freebies, most of the sponsors will offer you a discount, either starting within the month or starting at the end of the event. I've told this story a bunch of times before, but my first NaNoWriMo event that I ever did, I won and was motivated by the sponsor. There was Scrivener had sponsored NaNoWriMo, and they typically do every time. I would be shocked if they're not there right now. And what Scrivener did is they allowed you to use their product for the 30 days. And then when you were done, if you beat, quote unquote, NaNoWriMo, you got like a huge discount. If you just participated, you got a discount. But if you had proof that you beat it, you got a larger discount. So I was motivated, and that's how I got Scrivener for my computer. By the way, I should say that the offer that they give, it's 30 days of Scrivener. It doesn't have to be 30 consecutive days. It's like 30 times of opening the program. And there are plenty of other sponsors these days now that have similar sort of offerings. So that's a huge motivation and a great reason to go check out Camp NaNoWriMo. Of course, I'll have the links to all of these events in the show notes, but you could Google it and it'll pop right up. NaPoWriMo was created by a woman who was inspired by the NaNoWriMo event, but she wasn't a novelist, she was a poet. So she created a 30-day event in April. Why April? Because April is National Poetry Month, to encourage poets to show up to their poetry writing for 30 days straight. And she provides prompts for every single day, and she has like a place where you can share your links, where you're sharing your writing so that you can connect with fellow poets. So that's another challenge that's out there that helps you connect with people in your niche of writing. And finally, the blogging from A to Z challenge is a challenge that asks bloggers to show up to their blog every single day in April, except for Sundays, writing on a theme in order from A to Z. So each day, April 1st, you would write a blog post on something that starts with the letter A, and then April 2nd on something that starts with the letter B, and so on. And similarly to NaPoWriMo, blogging from A to Z has a space where you can share the link to your blog. You can see the links of all the other bloggers that are participating. They have a system so that you can show what kind of theme your blog is, so that you can connect with other bloggers in the similar niche as you, and it's a fantastic space to grow and connect with fellow bloggers. So those are 3 things that are happening in April to help sort of motivate you and keep you on task, or maybe even, be more productive than you typically would in a single month. And that can get you out the gate running for this quarter, and give you a little bit of time to stretch and rest and think and explore and tap back into the world at the end of the quarter. Because here's what happens. We go through each year, each month, each week, and we have all these plans and ideas of things that we want to accomplish. And, whatever, life gets in the way, or we just keep muscling along, or we're not feeling so motivated. And all of a sudden we're like, wait, what? What day is it? How did I not do, X, Y, and Z? I think when we take these moments to stop and reflect and plan ahead, like, there's nothing you can do about this whole year thus far if you didn't get all of the work done that you wanted to do. Like, we can look backwards in so much as saying, what can I learn from these previous months? What are the things that didn't work for me, or got in my way, or blocked me? But you can't change like what you did or didn't do. You can only step into the days ahead of you with a new perspective. And this is a great moment to say, it was quarter one. I'm going to start now. I have 75% of the year left. That's huge, right? If you really stick to it and make a plan for yourself, this is a great time to do all that, to get a planner out and just start marking off your days and setting yourself up for success. What I'm going to do is, in the show notes, I'm also going to put a link to my writer's resolution sheet that I typically share, at the beginning of the year. But as I said, when I created it, to me, I can make resolutions at any time of year. It's like whatever day is the day that I say, you know what, I'm going to start now. I want to think about what I want to accomplish in the next, couple of months. And I'm going to set my goals up and see what happens. So I'll put that in the show notes for you as well. But I just wanted to sort of shine a light on this moment before, another opportunity passes to sort of begin again, because that's what I'm always looking for. Because I'm always talking about the fact that I used to be a teacher, so I'm very much like on a school schedule of September is one of these times where I'm always thinking of what can I do next. But for me, June is another one of those things because it's always the end of the school year. So this thinking in quarters works really well for me, particularly because quarter two will end at another point where I'm just naturally in the groove to start thinking about what's next. But right now is a really great time as well. So you've got April, May, June. Oh, in June, I just discovered this new challenge that I know nothing about it. I just sort of stumbled upon it and I have to read more about it, but it's called the Writer's Games. And I'll drop the link in the show notes too, so you can check it out along with me. But it sounds like another sort of challenge that happens throughout the month of June. So maybe that's something that you want to add to June. Here's the thing. You may be saying, Nicole, why do I need all these challenges? What do you keep doing to me? Well, I'm assuming that you're like me. And some people can just show up and say, I am going to do X, Y, and Z. And that's it. Like once they say it, it's done. It's happening. I have a tendency to need to gamify all things, like really give myself this external motivation. And these types of challenges where somebody is like, are you still with us, Nicole? Is enough for me to say, yes, I'm coming. I will do this. I will do this with more enthusiasm than I may have done if I just asked myself, am I still with this? So I offer you all of these things that I have been finding in my hunting, in case that is something that speaks to you as well. That pretty much sums up what I wanted to bring to light this week for you. Quarter two is coming. now is your moment, because this is great that March has this little like bumper. It's not, you have exactly a week from the moment that this episode airs. Next episode that'll be live with you guys will be on April 1st. So you have a whole week now to think about, what do I want to do starting on April 1st? And it may be diving into Camp NaNoWriMo and really digging down either on revisions or finishing your novel from November. By the way, Camp NaNoWriMo has embraced this idea that so many people come to camp to finish their novel, and they are starting a challenge called, all right, now I'm going to say it wrong. It's NaFi Mo? No. NaFi No Mo? Okay, it's National Finished a Novel Month. So that would be NaFi No Mo. I should really write these things down before I say them. So yeah, if you want to finish your novel, there's a whole challenge surrounding that to gather more community in that camp as well. So yeah, I don't even remember what I was saying before all of that, but the idea is there are things for you to start doing starting next week. And now you have a week ahead of you, if you're listening to this live, to make your plans. So I wish you a lot of luck. I want you to go into quarter 2 with optimism and great motivation and real confidence in what you are going to be able to do in the next 3 months. Just really like take stock of where you are right now and imagine where you want to be 3 months from now. And you got this. You got this. And whatever support you need, come on over. DM me over in Stop Writing Alone on Instagram or on Facebook. And yeah, I'd love to know, what is it that you want to accomplish in quarter 2 for your writing? And if there's other stuff too, like sometimes this is a moment to look at other aspects of your life and say, this other thing keeps hanging over me. And when I'm writing, I don't feel like free to create because I'm thinking about the other thing. Well, this might be also a time to give light to that, to give it its moment so that you can sweep it out of the way and get back to your creating. It's, the world is your oyster right now. You have a brand new quarter to begin with, and I wish you luck. Happy writing, happy planning, and I can't wait to see what you produce next. Have a great week. Don't forget, this Friday is the writing prompt party that's going to go live on the YouTube channel. It's going to be a live Zoom with us. I should say it's a recorded Zoom party, and then I put it up later on in the night, but you will be with me live if you sign up, get your invitation, and come to the writing prompt party on Friday this week. That's March 26th. And I haven't decided what writing prompt tool we're going to use yet. You have to come to find out. And basically how the writing prompt parties work, if you haven't been to one or seen one on the MV Rivera YouTube channel yet as part of the Friday Night Writes series, essentially we all show up to Zoom, we say hello, we introduce ourselves, I select a prompt and share it with the group, set a timer, we all write, and at the end of the time that we determine, we all read our first draft fiction. It's wonderfully terrifying and awesome and incredible to hear how many different stories come from a singular prompt and what types of things you can create under that time crunch of pressure. It's really just fantastic. So if you haven't been to a writing prompt party, I highly recommend it. And not just because I'm hosting it and I want to see you and I want to write with you. It's inspired by a meeting that I used to participate in and host for my local writing group. And it was one of the things that just cracked me open wide as a writer and really got me thinking in all new ways about storytelling, writing. I learn every single time I have a writing prompt party from the other people that I'm writing with, without the pressure of critique or, really needing that perfection, because we are all in the same boat that we all just wrote this thing. So everybody knows it's not perfect. It's not fleshed out and polished. It is what it is. But we all have our innate talents that bubble to the surface that we didn't even know were there. And the rest of the group can just highlight and point them out and say, whoa, that description that you have is amazing. Or, your setting, what is that? Character development in 20 minutes? How did you do that? It's really, really quite wonderful. So I highly recommend it. And this Friday is your chance. So if you haven't gotten to one yet, check the show notes again for the link to the Friday Night Writes email list, and you will get your email with the link to the Zoom call this Friday evening at, I believe it's at 7 p.m. Eastern. Don't quote me on that. It'll be in the email. Just sign up for the email. And if you miss it, if you happen to be listening to this episode late and it's, after, we do one every single month on the fourth Friday of the month. So there will be one in April. Just sign up so you don't miss it. And that is really it. Have a great week. I will talk to you next Thursday. Happy writing. Before you go, don't forget to subscribe to the Stop Writing Alone podcast wherever you're listening to this episode today. Then connect with us on Facebook at Stop Writing Alone Facebook page or in the Stop Writing Alone with Nicole Rivera Facebook group. Check Instagram or Twitter where I'm at NV_Rivera to find links to our email newsletter. Recording, hosting, editing, producing. It's so much work. Disaster has struck. I finished my coffee. Tell me coffee is coming. ko-fi.com/stop writing alone.